Blanchard and Newcastle are right next to each other, and so many of you ask me about Blanchard, and I always bring up that Newcastle is another great option. Newcastle is just north of Blanchard, so we're going to take you on a little driving tour of Newcastle today. The map that I have set up is kind of a circle, but not really. I wanted to show you just as much as I could of neighborhoods and the town itself. So Handsome and I are giving you this tour. If you guys haven't met Handsome yet, it's my husband. Here's Handsome. He's so excited. He doesn't talk much on videos, but I promise you he talks more in real life.
You don't want to hear from me.
So we're driving north on Highway 62. So Handsome and I live in Norman, which is one of the neighboring towns in Newcastle. And the way that we get to Newcastle is either going to Moore and going down Main Street, and then through Highway 37 and then getting all the way to Newcastle, or we go south on I-35 and then west on Highway 9 and then north on Highway 62. It sounds more complicated than it is, I promise. But this is a pretty wide highway here, pretty easy driving all the way into town. And what you're seeing right now is already Newcastle. It's honestly pretty big. A lot of these houses and businesses right here sit on quite a few acres, and that's not uncommon. I would definitely say that Newcastle really has a small town vibe. I mean, the town only has 15,000 people for residents. So, I've been coming to Newcastle for a long time. My first job was actually in this town. The business doesn't exist anymore, but you know, I drove to Newcastle every day for 9 months. And what we're entering into now is kind of the old town. So the land is inexpensive. And so what happened for some of these entry level neighborhoods where you can get a house for sometimes as low as $220,000 is that they bought land for pretty cheap from, farmers, and then they developed it, and now they're building all these houses. So they're like regular city lots, but you've got to know that city lots in Newcastle are going to be much bigger than city lots in Norman. It's just like a different city, and so they're just bigger because it's like the country.
Taking me over here.
Yes, that's what we want. Okay, the high school is on our right now. We're turning left. And it's a pretty nice new high school. There's about 2,500 kids who attend Newcastle public schools. So that includes elementary, middle school, and high school. So this is really interesting back here because it's a town, right? But it's still going to feel extremely kind of country. So on my left, there's senior citizen living apartments, but not big ones. And then on my right, I can see new homes, like duplex types homes going in. And so yeah, it just is a big mix of that country living with, of course, the things that you need in town. So we're less than a mile from the school right now, or from the high school. And back in here, there's some older homes, a couple of them that have been redone a little bit. And then there's actually a new neighborhood that's coming up on our right, and it's a D.R. Horton neighborhood. These are going to be more like entry level homes, and obviously they're going to be new, and they're going to be on city lots. I keep saying that because a lot of the time the people that I have searching for homes out here in Newcastle are looking for a half acre or an acre for their house. And we have a lot of builders out here that do builds on an acre or half an acre. And so, it's kind of a nice place to look. So on our left here are some homes that are on probably looks like an acre and a half maybe. And some of them are older and then some of them are brand new. It's just because this town has grown kind of slowly then quickly. So we'll see this kind of interesting mix of new homes and old homes or older homes in the area. So we kind of made this U behind the high school, looking at kind of the areas that have new build neighborhood, but also some older homes. And now we're turning left back on Main Street. So that's kind of where we started. And I want to show you kind of where the some of the town is with like the Walmart and the casino. There's a little more town to my right as well. It's just a little bit kind of sprawled out for sure. So if you're wondering where people work, a lot of people are going to work in Oklahoma City. Like there are jobs in Newcastle, Blanchard, and Tuttle, but a lot of people are going to drive to Oklahoma City to work. So it's not like out of the question at all. So what we're coming up to now is where you would get on I-44. So I-44 is the interstate, or as some of you would say, the freeway, and it takes you directly up into Oklahoma City, specifically like the airport. Like one of the things I mapped for you guys is showing you like how much of a drive the airport would be, and it's about 20 minutes. So it's pretty close to this area. So we have a few different businesses like your Pizza Hut and a car wash. There's actually a sushi restaurant. I'm not sure I would eat sushi there. On my right is actually the casino. And then we have a hotel and then the Loves. The Loves here is giant. So, so like I said, right here is where you get on to go to Oklahoma City. You can also go west to go to Lawton. You've got your Dunkin' Donuts, your Subway. So now we're headed over to the other kind of main part of town, and it's not very far away at all. Oh, right in front of us is a oil derrick. So they're drilling a well right there. And that's what I tell people whenever they're looking at Blanchard or Newcastle is like there's a lot of drilling happening in this town right now. So here you kind of see we still have kind of this empty farmland, and this is actually still farmed. So I can see on the right it's definitely plowed, and on the left maybe a hay meadow, but maybe someone just bought it because it doesn't look it's all marked up, but lots of open land still out here. Some of the trees are already blooming, which is kind of crazy because it's like 45 degrees right now, but it's definitely springtime. Like this is early March, so we still see like a little bit of grass coming up, and some of it's still brown, and the redwoods are blooming, and the Bradford pears, it looks like. So we are going back up to the main highway that goes through like part of Newcastle. This part of Newcastle, I've heard people refer to it as Tri City. So if I look to my right, and we're not going to drive by it, but if I look to my right, you'll see the McDonald's and the Walmart, which is a giant super center. So you will see like that's where a lot of people are going to go get their groceries. And there used to be a Mexican restaurant, but it's not there anymore. There's like an auto zone, a Dollar Tree. So just some things that you may need or want if you're living in this area. I'm going to drive into one of the neighborhoods that I really like here in Newcastle, and I've shown a lot of houses in it. I don't think I've actually sold one yet. People tend to have been tending to choose like other areas, but I think it's very nice. So on the left here isn't necessarily in a neighborhood. These are just um, freestanding houses, but then we're about to turn into the neighborhood that I was talking about. So this is Country Club Estates. So people say one of the reasons they like this particular neighborhood is because, first of all, the homes are beautiful. It's not completely flat. Everyone has like a pretty big lot as well. So yes, the homes are like, you can see your neighbor, of course. Yes, the house is gorgeous. I like the windows. So you can see how we're kind of headed downhill, and then you've got all these houses sort of lining the street. But you can't like spit on your neighbor. You know what I mean? From your back door. Like that's not gonna happen in this neighborhood. Did it stop?
So what stopped?
So at this location, I mean you're gonna be 5 minutes from getting your coffee at McDonald's or going to Walmart. So that's how close in we are right now. All right, back on Highway 37. So like I mentioned, like this is one of the ways you could get into Newcastle from Moore. So Moore is it's 4th Street running through Moore, and then it turns into Highway 37. There you go. So we're going into Riverview neighborhood next. I didn't really tell you much of a like price range because of course that changes. But we're looking at around like that 400,000 to $600,000 mark right now with these neighborhoods. Okay, this is the Riverview neighborhood. And the houses don't start right by the road or anything because it is off the highway. They're quite far back in here. Most of these homes have 3-car garages, and privacy fences are not allowed in this neighborhood, I don't believe. They're mostly going to be black chain link or wrought iron fencing, which honestly looks very nice. And this is not a one builder neighborhood, so there's going to be lots of different styles that you're going to see in this neighborhood. And these are mostly half-acre lots in here. So you're not right on top of your neighbor. You're not in spitting distance. You are close enough, but far enough as well. From some of these houses, you can actually see downtown Oklahoma City, specifically the Devon Tower, which is, of course, our tallest building. A little bit of rolling hills in this neighborhood. It's a very bright green truck. Wow. So these houses are all on their own aerobic systems. There's the Amazon truck, of course. The Amazon warehouse is very close to here. So I get a lot of like same day delivery, but I have a feeling this neighborhood gets a lot of same day delivery because of how close it is. So they're all on aerobic systems. I think they're on city water in this neighborhood. I can't remember exactly. Um, But if you haven't heard of aerobic systems, you can look that up. And I have a video explaining the difference between a regular septic and an aerobic system as well. It's quite popular, which is always interesting to me. We are back on the highway. We came out of that neighborhood and turned right. So you'll see more businesses like the vet. There's a church, of course. There's actually a nail salon behind us. One of the craziest looking houses ever on the left. In this area, you don't get a lot of giant neighborhoods. You're going to get like the smaller to maybe mid-size. But we have a lot of small, like family builders here, especially in Oklahoma, just because like the big national builders don't want to come here. We don't have enough people. You know, Oklahoma only has 4 million people in its population, so it's just not enough to really support some of these national builders who can go to Texas and build the very same thing and make even more money. So we get the family sort of builders who, um, I don't know, it creates a different vibe in the neighborhoods. Like here's one of these small neighborhoods that the homes, they're gonna be go all the way down. You're great. They're gonna be on these are on an acre, it looks like. And it looks like they all have a well. They all can have a shop if they want to. I doubt this one has, if it has an HOA, it's probably not very strict from what I'm seeing. Not that it looks bad. It's just that like people have different kinds of fencing. Like it looks really nice. These are going to be a little bit older houses. So they're not going to be brand new, but that also means they have more trees. And you probably noticed that most of our homes are red brick, and that's just true across most of Oklahoma. So some of these people have pools. That person has a really nice outdoor sort of fireplace kitchen thing going on. Geese. But it looks like about 50-50 have pools. Definitely usually less expensive to purchase a house with a pool than to put one in. They started around $60,000 to install one, and you're definitely not paying $60,000 if you buy a house with a pool, except that you may not have as many um choices when it comes to the houses themselves. So I mentioned earlier that we're about 20 minutes away from Will Rogers International Airport. And we say international, there is only one international flight that happens right now, and it is to Cancun. And then other distances that we have here, like from to downtown Oklahoma City, like if you were to work in downtown Oklahoma City, it's going to be around 30 minutes for you to get to downtown. And then if you're going to like the University of Oklahoma, Also about 30 minutes. It could be less. The thing is like Newcastle is very large. So if you're closer in to, the east, then you're going to be closer to Norman. And then less time it takes you to drive. And then most commuters, of course, are going to use that I-44, that interstate, to get into Oklahoma City. So if you do want to see homes for sale in Newcastle, I have a link. I'm going to put it up top here, and I'm going to put it in the description. And you can also use this QR code to get to it if you're watching on your TV. So this link will show you different homes for sale in Newcastle, like everything that's available right now. And I am going to ask for your email address whenever you sign up, but I'm not going to email you. Just put your email address in so you can get to it, and then you'll be able to see the search for all of the homes that are available in Newcastle. Okay, now we're turning to this neighborhood called Oakmont, and these homes, I've shown a lot of them. They're all new, beautiful, and they're all on half an acre. And we're still only about 7-8 minutes from Walmart at this point. This is a shop approved neighborhood, and all that means is you can build a shop. And it does have to have like specific things on it, but I mean, it's not crazy. Like, you can build a metal shop in this neighborhood. You'll notice the homes are a little bit closer together, and these homes are also slightly more affordable than some other homes. They're also a little bit smaller. I've had this conversation too recently with people. It's like, yes, there's no sidewalks in these neighborhoods, but people just walk in the street. And we saw a couple on our way in that were just walking the street. This is very common, very normal. No one's going to run you over unless you have somebody crazy in your neighborhood. But this is a typical thing to do in these small towns. You're just going to walk in the street. So I'm Marcie Billen, and I am a real estate agent here in Oklahoma, if you didn't catch that yet. And I make videos for you guys specifically about Oklahoma so that if you're moving here, you can learn just a little bit more. And if you need my help, if you're moving to Oklahoma, then I would love to help you. Just give me a call. You can also scan this QR code and contact me. It's really easy. So I will talk with you soon. So we've left the Oakmont neighborhood, and now we're driving down Council. So this road goes like all the way up past into Yukon and stuff, which is not a neighboring town of Newcastle, but Mustang, Tuttle, that's where kind of Council Road goes through. And just going to drive through another neighborhood for you guys. You can see all the construction that they're doing. This is because they need some better roads for these areas where all of these people are moving in. That's what's going on here. It's just growing because people want to live here. There's still some of the country roads back here. It's not like set neighborhoods. These are like standalone houses that have a little bit of acreage on them. Some of them are redone, some of them are not. Some of them are brand new. It just depends. You have some options out here for sure. So neighboring towns to Newcastle. We've talked about Moore. That's a pretty easy spot to get to depending on where you are in Newcastle. And then you're also going to have Blanchard, of course, as one of the neighboring towns. That's to the south. And then Tuttle is to the north. And then technically, I do believe Oklahoma City is one of the neighboring towns. I would have to look exactly where, but as I've mentioned many, many times, Oklahoma City is giant. So it takes up a lot of space, and it still might be sort of country, you know? Some donkeys. A sheepdog. Right now, there's this kind of round house for sale out here. I haven't seen it in person, but it's ugly. So, but I do believe it'll be a good opportunity for someone. I can't imagine how hard it is to sell though. It's like got this dome like top on it. So now we're on 16th, and here in a bit we'll go into a neighborhood, but there are some really cool new houses on the right here. And like I said, all standalone housing. You don't have to live in a neighborhood to be out here. You don't have to have an HOA. There are lots of opportunities to live in a brand new neighborhood, but there are opportunities to not as well. I wish I could drive you down every single street in Newcastle, but honestly, it would just take way too much time. Yeah, yeah, don't turn. You're good. Oh, alpacas. I saw this the other day. They had like some sort of event out here with these alpacas. I had put it in my newsletter. They're huge cattails. Oh shit, I wasn't filming that. So some of you have asked me in the past about barn dominiums, and I will tell you that they are definitely an option out here in Newcastle. And I'm bringing this up because we've driven by several today, of course. I see them not just in Newcastle, they're in other cities too. They are an option. I don't talk too much about them because a lot of times I have clients that like look at them or look at building them, and then they end up either building a regular house or just buying a house because the pricing doesn't end up being that much different than just a regular house. Okay, we're about to get back. Oops. We're about to get back on Council Road. Another thing that I hadn't pointed out was there's a turnpike, like a toll road, that connects Blanchard to some other towns, basically. And it's pretty short, but it's really the only one that's down south here for now. They are planning, oh, big bump. They are planning on building another turnpike to bypass Norman and to connect like sort of more in Norman to Tuttle or to go out west without going into Oklahoma City. It's been like on the books for a long time now, but of course a big project like that it takes a while. And so they haven't started on it, but they definitely started buying property to do that. So we're going into Pulchella next. This neighborhood, everything's going to be over 500K. And they're all on half an acre lot. They've been building this neighborhood for quite a while, but that's typical when it comes to like this price point where we're going up into, just under $1 million. All different sorts of builders in this neighborhood. You're going to see pools, some pools. Not every house has a pool, of course. You'll see the brick, you'll see the painted brick, you'll see the old style. There's the new like modern farmhouse homes. This neighborhood, of course, has an HOA, so keep that in mind. People do have outbuildings in this neighborhood. They also typically have at least a 3-car garage, if not a 4-car garage, but it depends on if they custom build typically. Once again, no sidewalks in this neighborhood, but everyone walks in the street. Definitely seeing a lot of modern homes as we get to like the new section back here. That's beautiful. Very farmhousey. There's a few new builds they're building back here. These will be included in the search for Newcastle homes if you're trying to look for these. If there are any for sale, which of course there always are. Pulchella, for sure. This is a pretty big neighborhood, but like I said, like it started quite a while ago, but this price point takes a little bit to build up a neighborhood. I don't think I'd want to be on a roof today. It's windy. So Newcastle does reach pretty far south, and it does butt up to Norman. And there are some new build neighborhoods in that area. And it's really nice because you're in Newcastle, technically, and you are in McLean County, which I'm saying that because McLean County is going to have lower property taxes than Cleveland County, where Norman is. But technically, you're going to be a lot closer to Norman to have that as like your town. But you're not going to be paying the same amount that some of us do that actually live in Norman city limits. So some of these, most of them, are going to be on at least a half an acre that we're going to show you. There are a few different neighborhoods, most of them built in this century. And then the one brand new build neighborhood, which is the easiest spot to build a brand new house if that's what you're wanting to do. That's what we'll show you. So from here, we're going into Blue Ridge Estates. So right now we're on Highway 9. So in front of us, like I can see the University of Oklahoma off in the distance. I can see Riverwind Casino, which is a casino in Norman. Well, the only casino in Norman that we have. It's further south. So on Highway 9, it's all split. So we have to make a U-turn to get to Blue Ridge Estates since we're coming from the west. So Blue Ridge Estates, and there's other houses out here too. Like you can see them kind of on the right. They don't come up for sale a ton, but Blue Ridge Estates is this new build neighborhood. It's a really cool spot. Like I like it a lot. I think it's really beautiful. It is on this hill, like as best of a hill that we can have here in the flat central plains of Oklahoma. But this is a one builder neighborhood. It is Home Creations. Home Creations is a production builder here in Oklahoma City, but I think they do build in Tulsa some. And these homes are all on half an acre. They started this neighborhood, I think, around 2020. And I've really been impressed with their new designs that I've seen them come up with in here. Because I'll be honest with you, Home Creations didn't have the best reputation for building like a nice $500,000 home. But some of these, they're really, really cool. Like I like them a lot. So I'm going to have Handsome turn left as we go up here, and we'll see some of the newer homes that they have in here. There are resales available, and there are brand new builds. Like you can build a home from the ground up in this neighborhood. So I'm going to have you go. So these homes are usually like 4-bedroom or like 3-bedroom and a bonus room. They're 3-car garage homes. Most everyone has a privacy fence in this neighborhood. A lot of them are 2-story, but a lot of them are not, because not everyone loves 2-story neighborhoods out here. There's this one plan that they have where it's like a giant bonus room that could be a bedroom. I think it's a really cool plan. And there will be another section. That's why there's this thing in the road right here. But we have to turn around. So out here, everyone has an aerobic septic system. I can see it in this person's yard. So this neighborhood will be going on for a while, but also there's just a lot of resales that come up in here. Just because, people always ask me why, and it's because like when a new neighborhood is built, the highest turnover rate is within the first 20 years. And I'm sure there's some like psychological reason for that, but it doesn't mean that it's a bad neighborhood. It just means that a lot of people like to move a lot. I'm not one of those people, but a lot of people are. Be sure you watch these other driving videos if you're thinking of moving to Oklahoma City.